My mother-in-law tried to replace my family at my wedding, so I replaced her instead. My future mother-in-law looked me dead in the eye and said, "Your parents don't belong at this wedding. I will be already invited my friends to take their seats." I smiled sweetly and replied, "Perfect. Neither do you." What happened next absolutely destroyed her perfect little world. I am Marcus, 28, and this unclear explosion happened just 3 months ago, but it feels like a lifetime. My fiancée, Jessica, 26, and I had been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. Everything seemed perfect until her mother, Patricia, 55, decided to stage a hostile takeover of our wedding. The bomb dropped on a Tuesday evening. Jessica and I were at a Patricia house for our weekly dinner, a tradition I would grant to dread. Patricia had always been particular the kind of woman who rearranged your belongings when she visited because this way looks better. But Jessica was out dealing with her mother's quirks. Or so I thought. We are discussing final head count when Patricia casually mentioned, "Oh, Marcus, I will be been meaning to tell you. I will be had to make some adjustment to the sitting arrangements. Adjustments." I asked, not really paying attention as I helped Jessica with the dishes. "Yes, well, your parents' table. I will be given those seats to the wet bears. You know, the family that owns the country club chain. They are much more appropriate for the front section." The plate in my hand stopped moving. "I'm sorry, what?" Patricia did not even look up from her wine. "Your parents will be fine at table 12. It's near the kitchen, but honestly, they will probably be more comfortable there anyway. More there. Speed." Jessica's face went white. "Mom, what are you talking about?" "Darling, this is a $75,000 wedding. We need to consider appearances. The what Whatever bees are influential people. Marcus' parents are well. They are lovely, I'm sure, but they are plumber and a grocery store clerk. They don't exactly fit the aesthetic we are going for. The aesthetic my parents, who worked 2 jobs, is to help pay for my colleague. My father, who built half houses in our town with his own hands. My mother, who managed an entire grocery store and treated every customer like family. They did not fit her aesthetic. Patricia, I said carefully, my parents are sitting at the family table. This is negotiable. She finally looked at me with the conciliating smile. "I will learn to hate. Marcus, dear, you are not thinking practically. This wedding is Jessica's dream, and frankly, my investment. I will put $50,000 into this event. Your contribution, while appreciated, does not quite give you better power over my decisions." Jessica was staring at her mother like she would grown a second head. "Mom, you can't just move his parents away from the family table." "Absolutely can I have. The weather bees RSPBPD this morning. It's done." The silence in the kitchen was deafening. Then I started laughing, not a happy laugh, the kind of laugh that happens when something breaks inside you. "You know what, Patricia? You are absolutely right. This is your show, your investment, your aesthetic." I turned to Jessica. "I need to ask you something, and I need a completely honest answer. Do you agree with your mother?" Jessica looked panicked. "Marcus, it's complicated. She had just a lot of money into this, and if it makes her happy, that was all I needed to hear." The woman I thought I loved was willing to humiliate my parents for her mother's social climbing ambitions. "Okay," I said quietly. "I understand perfectly." I walked out of that house and drove straight to my parents' place. When I told them what happened, my father just nodded grimly and my mother hushed me. "Son," Dad said, "if that's how they see us, maybe it's better we know now." The next morning, I called Patricia. "I would be thinking about what you said, and you were right. This should be your perfect wedding with your perfect guest." She sounded immensely satisfied. "I am so glad you understand, Marcus. This will be so much better for everyone." "Absolutely. That's why I am withdrawing from the wedding entirely. Since it's your event and your money, and you, Jessica, can have exactly the wedding you want without me." The silence stretched for a solid 10 seconds. "Marcus, you can't be serious." "I'm completely serious. I'm calling the officiant today to let him know to whom went to be attending. You can invite whoever you want to sit wherever you want. Problem solved." "You are being ridiculous. You can't cancel a wedding over seating arrangements." "Patricia, you made it very clear that my family is not good enough for your event. Since I come from that same family, I'm obviously not good enough either. I'm just saving you the embarrassment of having a plumber son as a son-in-law." I hung up and immediately called the officiant, the photographer I would hired, and the musician my family and paid for. I explained the situation and canceled my portion of the services. Then I did something that felt absolutely perfect. I called my parents and my siblings and told them to keep their Saturday free. We were having a family barbecue and celebration at the local park, the same park where my parents had their wedding reception 30 years ago, because it was all they could afford. We are going to show them what class really looks like, I told my family. Jessica told me crying within an hour, Marcus, please, we can fix this. Mom was just stressed about the wedding. She did not mean it. Jessica, you had the chance to stand up for my parents, for me, and you choose not to. You were willing to let them be humiliated for your mother's social climbing. That tells me everything. I need to know about who you really are. But I love you. We can have a different wedding somewhere else with the same people who think my family is not good enough. No thanks. The meltdown was epic. Patricia called me screaming about deposits and vendors and how I was ruining Jessica's life. I calmly explained, and since she would made it clear this was her event and her money, the problems were hers to solve. Besides, I added, you can still have your perfect wedding. Just find Jessica a more appropriate groom. Maybe one of the weather songs is available. The Saturday that was supposed to be my wedding day, my family threw the most incredible celebration of Riverside Park. We have a potluck that put any catered meal to shame. Kids running around playing games, my uncle's band playing music, my grandmother telling stories that had everyone in tears from laughing. We took pictures all day, real, genuine, happy picture of a family that loved each other unconditionally. And yes, we post them online with captions like family fast and real life, real joy. The contest could not have been more stark. While Patricia was apparently scrambling to explain to 200 guests why there was no groom, we were celebrating that actually mattered. Update 1 2 weeks later. The fallout was spectacular. Word got around town quickly about what happened, and the reaction was not what Patricia expected. The story spread like wildfire, especially after my cousin posted a video he kept on TikTok that went viral. When keeping it classy goes wrong, it got 2 3 million views. Several mutual friends reached out to tell me they are horrified by Patricia's behavior. Then some of her own social circle were apparently questioning her judgment. The weather was occasionally were mortified when they found out they would be being used to displace the groom's parents. Mr. Whitbear. Mr. called my mother to apologize and said she had no idea what Patricia was planning. This was apparently devastated, but more about the social investment than losing me. Going to friends, and she was furious with her mother for running everything, but still could not understand why I would not just get over it. Patricia tried to different approach. She and Jessica called and offered a compromise. They would pay for a small separate reception for my family the next weekend. The audacity was breathtaking. They wanted to give my family a consolation prize party after the real wedding. I did not even dignify that with a response. Update 2. 1 month later, the consequences kept rolling in. Patricia's perfect social wedding became the town's biggest gossip story, and not in the way she wanted. Her country club friends were apparently divided. Some supported her, maintaining standards, but others thought she would gone too far. The club itself was embarrassed by the association after my cousin's TikTok went viral and people started calling them out line. Jessica finally showed her true colors completely. She started telling people that I would abandon her at the altar over a misunderstanding and that my family had forced her to choose sides. She completely left out the part about her mother trying to exile my parents to the kitchen table. The best part, 3 weeks after the cancelled wedding, I got a call from a local newspaper reporter. Apparently, someone had nominated my family's park celebration for their community spirit future after seeing the viral TikTok. They wanted to do a story about families supporting each other through difficult times. The article came out last week with beautiful pictures from our celebration and quotes from my parents about the importance of unconditional love and staying true to our values. The headline was Local Family Shows Real Class in Face of Adversity. Patricia was furious about the article, especially since it indirectly made her look terrible without even mentioning her name. She apparently called the newspaper off to complain, which only made things worse for her. Final twist came yesterday. Jessica called me crying, saying she made a terrible mistake and beginning for another chance. Apparently, she would been struggling with the social fallout and realized that her mother's values were not making her happy. I miss you, she sobbed. I miss your family. I want to make this right. But there's Here's thing, I would had a mouth to think about this clearly. This was not just about a sitting chart. This was about someone I loved being willing to hurt people. I loved for social status. This was about her mother having so little respect for me and my family that she thought she could just raise us from our own wedding. Jessica, I told her you had the chance to show what kind of person you really are. And you did. You chose status over love. Francis, about integrity. That's not something you can just apologize away. But people make mistake. I was confused. I was torn between me and my mother. You were not torn, Jessica. You made a choice. You chose to let my parents be humiliated rather than stand up to your mother. That's who you are when the pressure is on. Hannah blocked her number. Final updates 2 months later. Life has been remarkably peaceful. The whole experience taught me something valuable about people's true character and what really matters. My family bond is stronger than ever. My parents told me they were proud of how I handled the situation. My sibling kept joking that I dodged the bullet. That's not wrong. I heard through the grapevine that Patricia and Jessica had a massive falling out after the newspaper article came out. Jessica apparently blamed her. Jessica for not handling me better. Their perfect mother-daughter relationship involved under the weight of their own toxicity. The social consequences of for Patricia were lasting. Several of her country club friends distanced themselves, and she apparently resigned from two committees after the continued gossip became too much. As for me, I am dating someone new, Sarah, a teacher who comes from a family much like mine. When I told her this whole story, her response was perfect. Thank God you find out before you married into that mess. The money I lost on deposits and vendors, best investment I ever made. It brought me clarity about what actually value and saved me from a lifetime of being married to someone who would always chose appearances over authenticity. Patricia wanted a wedding that reflected her values. Status over substance, appearances over love, money over character. She got exactly what she deserved, a beautiful empty being without no so her for her who she really was. Sometimes the best living is just letting people face the natural consequences of their own choices. Patricia tried to erase my family from my wedding day. Instead, she erased herself from my life entirely, and honestly, I've never been happier.